Okay, we're going to continue the prepositions from the last video when I covered exercise 22, working in the Latin. So this time, the only difference is we're really just working from English and translating into the Latin. So some of the prepositions that we're covering are the ones that were given to us on page 25 in the purple book. Propter, post, both of those are used with accusatives. And then the cum and in prepositions are used with, are governed by the ablative case, okay? So I have my little cheat sheet over here. The accusative are post and propter, so the P words are with the accusative, and the ablative is governed, sorry, the in and cum are governed by the ablative. So looking at this, as soon as I see something like this after, that's just my big red flag that I already know in the grammar, once I've learned this, that post always means after or behind. So I'm going to go ahead and have this habit of knowing that as soon as I see this preposition, I know the word that's going to follow is also going to be placed in its same case. So I'm going to bracket the whole thing together, and it just helps me visually. I'm a visual kind of kid, so it helps me visually keep things, as these sentences get longer and longer, it's just helpful to understand that, okay, I've got that listed there. This is the word post. That means after or behind, and it's governed by the accusative case. So I put my accusative, which also means then the word that follows that preposition is going to be in the accusative case as well. All right, and then I also want to make note of if it's singular or plural, which this is singular, okay, for our nouns. And then I just go ahead and translate. And so I know that after means post. And if I'm looking at war, it's accusative singular, and I know that war is bellum, belly, which is why we memorize our vocabulary that way. So I'm going to go over to the e, right? It's in the neuter, and then I'm going to go to accusative singular, and that's my ending. I'm going to tack on to bellum. Okay, so then I go ahead and write the word bellum here. Okay, and so that's translated. Let's look at the next one. On account of the war. Now, here's one thing I want to be sure that we don't get confused on. So sometimes I've had kids look at it and go, oh, look, oh, I know what that is. Oh, yeah, that's the, the accusative here. And so we'll put accusative, and then this over here, that's a genitive. Okay, that's a common mistake. Here's what I want to make sure that we don't do this, okay, because on account of is the phrase that is the preposition. Okay, that whole thing is the preposition. So we want to just be sure that when we label, we get the of on account of with this. And I don't know if I've never come up with a great system. I just have always learned it. So I bracket the whole thing. If you need to have your kid put an extra line down here to show that the of belongs on this side so it's translated properly, you could do that. But I just bracket the whole thing, and I know on account of is going to be propter. And I know that those P words are accusative cases and that the following word will be governed by the same. Okay, and so then this is propter on account of. I place down the preposition propter, and then war is accusative. It's also singular. It doesn't say wars. So I come back up, and I'm working in the same thing, singular, accusative, that's my ending. So I'm going to put down the word bellum. Okay. And then finally we'll come over to this one here, in the town. Okay, anytime we see that word in, we know that's a preposition. And I also know that as I learn these, that in is going to be governed by the ablative. So I'm just going to label him right off the bat, ablative, which also makes the word that follows ablative. Oops, sorry, ABL, there we go. And then town is singular, right? We always need to know our number and case when we're going to translate. And sometimes I put the gender too. The reason we label everything gender, number, case on these nouns is because once you get to adjectives, you have to know gender, number, case of everything. So we're practicing early on to build that skill set. So, sorry, that's a little aside for you. So looking here, we've got in the town. I've got it labeled ablative and singular, and I'm thinking of the word town as to how I'm going to translate that and as to what declension does that belong to. So I'm thinking oppidum, oppd, and again, it's back to this neuter declension, oppidum, oppd. This time we're working in the ablative and singular. So my ablative singular ending is going to be o, oppido. So to translate this, I just say in, because In means in or on. So I can say in the town, or I can say on the, oh, sorry, you know, we're doing this in Latin. I gotta remember, I'm doing it in Latin right now. So I just leave in because that's the Latin. And then I say oppido. Okay? And that's how exercise 23 works, working from the English into the Latin. All right. Have fun translating.